Hi guys, my name is IoT. This is EaglesTracker, the home of Nigerian football. And as you have probably already heard, or maybe you haven't, the disciplinary committee of FIFA have begun their investigation into SAFA, the South African Football Association, and Teboho Mokoena, based on his ineligibility to play the game against Lesotho, which he did. Of course, this has been a major talking point in the World qualifying campaign for the Super Eagles, for South Africa, and also for the other teams in the group like Benin Republic and, of course, Lesotho, who were the originally aggrieved party. South Africans have tried to play it off. They claimed that nothing was going to be done, but now we know, we've heard from SAFA themselves, that FIFA have started an investigation. FIFA have confirmed that both the player and the association face charges of breaching several disciplinary regulations, including fielding of an ineligible player. But what exactly happened? That's what I'm going to talk about in this video. What happened, the implications, what it means for South Africa, what it means for Nigeria, and whether or not this is something that we should even care about at this point. So Teboho Mokoena was fielded while under suspension in a 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying match, which South Africa won 2-0 against Lesotho on March 21st in Polokwane. Mokoena played 66 minutes in this game and helped his side to a 2-0 victory. Before the game, the 28-year-old midfielder had accumulated 2 yellow cards earlier in the qualifiers. First one was against Benin Republic in November 2023, and then against Zimbabwe in June 2024, which under the FIFA rules triggered an automatic 1-match ban. So he should not have played in that game, but he did. Since then, he has also featured in 2 other games for South Africa, both World Cup qualifying matches against Nigeria and, of course, the reverse fixture against Lesotho. Now, the case has been referred to the FIFA disciplinary committee. FIFA and Mokoena were given 6 days to submit their response, which by the time of you watching this video, their responses have been sent. If found guilty, Bafana could or would be forced to forfeit the result of that match against Lesotho, which would hand Lesotho a 3-0 victory on paper, while other sanctions such as fines or suspensions could also be imposed. Should a forfeit be handed down by FIFA to South Africa, they will find themselves level on points with Benin Republic with 14 points after 8 matches. However, the goal difference situation will be tricky because South Africa would lose the 2 goals that they scored and won that game with, so they would have +6, and then they would be handed a 3-0 deficit, which would also lose 3 goals and make them be on +3, which means that they would drop to second in the group behind the Cheetahs of Benin Republic, who would have 14 points with a +4 goal difference. Lesotho, on the other hand, will find their points tally bumped up from 6 points to 9 points. Their goal difference, add the 2 goals that Africa scored, would go to -6, and then give them 3 goals for the win, will go up to -3. So they will be on 9 points with a -3 goal difference, and they will remain 5th in the group. 2 points behind Nigeria and Rwanda, who both have 11 as of this point. Nigeria, of course, in 3rd, Rwanda in 4th. What does this mean? It means that going into the final 2 games of the group's World Cup qualifying campaign, it is going to be a very, very tight situation. If the Super Eagles win their last 2 matches against Lesotho and Benin Republic, the Super Eagles will climb up to 17 points. Should South Africa win 1 game and lose 1 game, they would have 17 points. Should Benin Republic win 1 game and lose 1 game, of course, they would have to lose the game against Nigeria for them to be able to have win 1 and lose 1, while Nigeria wins 2. Then Benin Republic would also have 17 points. Now, what could actually make the Super Eagles go above either of these 2 teams should that happen? It's all about the goal difference. It's all about the goal difference. Like I said, South Africa losing initially 2 goals that they scored against Lesotho drops them to +6, and then 3 goals drops them to +3. Nigeria currently on +2. So whatever happens, if South Africa win 1 and lose 1, let's assume a 3-0 win gives them a plus +6, and then maybe a 1-0 loss, they end up with a +5. If Nigeria wins 2-0, 2-0, that ends up a +6, and Nigeria would be above South Africa. Now, South Africa are facing Zimbabwe and then Rwanda. More likely than not, South Africa will win both games. But hey, Rwanda beat them in the reverse fixture. And this is football, man. Stranger things have happened. So who knows what might happen in this match or in these matches. However, we should not forget the fact that the Super Eagles are going to play Benin Republic in the final game of the group. It's going to be a tight one. Assuming all teams win their opening fixtures of the last round of games, Nigeria goes on 14, Benin Republic goes on 17, South Africa goes on 17. Now, of course, this is me assuming that South Africa have been docked 3 points by FIFA. Going into the final group game, Benin Republic would know that if they win against Nigeria, then they might finish top of the group. Of course, Nigeria knows that possibility is there as well. South Africa, going into their own second game of the October window against Rwanda, would also know that the possibility exists. So it creates a very, very tight situation. And I should not discount Rwanda, who are also level on points with Nigeria right now and have to play against Benin Republic and South Africa. So Benin Republic, Rwanda would also be looking at the fact that if they're able to win their 2 games, maybe they can be the ones that end up qualifying as group winners. So it is a very tight and tricky situation in Group C. This group, honestly, in my opinion, has underperformed. It should not be this close based on the quality that Nigeria and South Africa are supposed to have above everyone else. And I would have expected Benin Republic to be a close third place. But it makes for a very interesting climax and end to this entire qualifying series. The Super Eagles could very much still finish top. But we will have to hope that South Africa win one and lose one, or maybe draw both of their games. Of course, the Super Eagles would have to make sure that they win both of their games. It is very imperative that Nigeria wins both games against Lesotho and Benin Republic, because dropping points in either game, you can almost just discount the first place. It is not over until it is over. That is one thing that football has taught us. We've seen 90th minutes goals. We've seen 3 goals in stoppage time. We've seen all sorts of crazy things happen. So we have to keep that belief. Even though, again, I will say, I think it is more likely South Africa win their 2 games than they lose one, win one, or lose both. But hey, again, stranger things have happened in football. Now, pending when FIFA makes an official decision, we have to look at past precedents. This has happened. And I think it is very, very interesting, the fact that this happened to us. This happened to the Super Eagles. This happened to Nigeria. In 2017, Nigeria fielded an ineligible player in the name of Abdullahi Shehu in their final World Cup qualifying match against Algeria. The match in Constantine originally ended as a 1-1 draw. The Super Eagles qualified for the 2018 FIFA World Cup. But eventually, that result was overturned and Algeria were awarded a 3-0 win for this mistake by the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Now, thankfully, at the time, Nigeria already qualified. So it did not matter. Even the 3-point deduction did not matter, and were able to go to the tournament. So based on past precedents, there is no reason to believe that South Africa will not get the same treatment or should not get the same treatment. It is in the FIFA rulebook, automatic suspension for a player accumulating multiple yellow cards. And if you feel an ineligible player, you get a 3-0 defeat awarded. It is supposed to be automatic. Yes, of course, because there is a process for everything, FIFA have to allow SAFA say what the reason for the, for the wrongdoing was. They give them a chance to just explain themselves. But I don't think that there's any explanation that can, be just enough to not award the 3 points to Lesotho. In Nigeria's case, I think, or I believe, we were also fined $6,000 for the oversight or for the error, for the misdemeanor, if I put it that way. So I'm expecting that SAFA will probably get some kind of fine as well, and maybe even a fine to Teboho Mokoena himself, or maybe an additional suspension to Teboho Mokoena. Because at the end of the day, while it is on the federation to make sure that they don't make an error like this, I think as a football player, as a professional football player, you should also be aware of your status in terms of eligibility. If you get 2 yellow cards, I think you should know. again, I know that you are playing for your club, you are playing in different competitions, you are playing for your country. Maybe you feel like, oh, it's a lot for you to process. I would disagree. I would say you should know, especially if it's 2 yellow cards to get suspended. It's different if you are in your league where you have to accumulate maybe 5 yellow cards or something. Then you can lose track because the 5 might come over a period of maybe 10, 15 matches. But I think for this case, Teboho Mokoena has to hold some accountability. Now I expect Safa to defend him and to stand by his side because I believe that that's going to be the right thing to do. He doesn't hold all of the blame. I think the federation holds most of the blame. But this makes for a very, very tricky end to our group. Let's, however, look at the situation whereby South Africa win both games. Let's say South Africa win both games. They finish the group with 20 points. Now, what happens between Benin Republic and Nigeria? Assuming that Benin Republic win their first match of the last round of qualifiers, they go on 17. Assuming Nigeria beats Zimbabwe as well, Nigeria goes on 14. So we're 3 points behind Benin Republic. Assuming we win by the same margin, we say that we're still 2 goals behind Benin Republic. It means that going into that final group fixture against Benin Republic, we have to ensure that we beat them by at least 2 to 3 goals to make sure that our goal difference can go above them. So that even if South Africa win their final game as well, we can still finish as second place in the group. So much can happen. If Benin Republic beat us, of course, we'll bow our heads and take third place, and we know that we're not going to the World Cup. But so much can still happen. And now I know some people will be asking, but even if we finish second, haven't you seen the table of all the different groups and their second place teams? How can we possibly qualify for the playoffs even if we finish second? Some people already have 17, some people already have 19. If you're asking that question and you don't understand, click the link on screen now and watch the video where we explained exactly how that is going to work and why the Super Eagles still have a chance of making the playoffs as runners-up in the group. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts about this whole Safa Mokoena situation. My South Africans in chat, let me know your thoughts as well. I hope you guys like this. Please do not forget to hit the like button. It helps the channel by a lot more than you would think. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe so that you can enjoy more Nigerian football insights and, of course, interesting interviews, conversations, and so much more. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.